For our first GCSE video, we're going to look at negative numbers or direct numbers to just understand what they are, why we have them, and then have a look about how we add them onto other numbers. What you can see here is what we call a number line. It shows numbers, and as you can see, 0 is in the middle, and it shows us the increase in numbers, which you've probably done already. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. What you might not have seen is that below 0 we've got other numbers called negative numbers. You can see they've got like a takeaway sign in front of them, and going away from 0 they've still got this 1, 2, 3, 4. But if to the left means smaller numbers and to the right means bigger numbers, you can see that the smaller negative numbers have the same look as the bigger positive numbers. So in the positive numbers to the right of the 0, we'd think that maybe 10 was bigger than 7, and you'd be right. On the left side, when we look at those numbers, you might think that 10 is bigger than 7, but minus 10 is actually smaller than minus 7. So it's something tricky you have to think about, and really as you're going up and getting higher, you should be counting down with the negative numbers. Minus 10, minus 9, minus 8, and so on, all the way to 0. What do we actually do with negative numbers? What is the point of them? Surely we can only look at things from 0 and above, and you'd be quite right. We can only count things in positive numbers. For instance, I could have 3 chairs or 4 boxes or so on. I can't have minus 5 chairs. I can take away 5 chairs from a collection, but I can't have the number minus 5. What we use them for is usually in measurements and calculations. Good example is temperature, where we have minus 6 degrees Celsius, minus 12 degrees Celsius, minus 50, and so on. The point of that is 0 is the point at which water freezes. So any negative number lower than 0 is below the freezing point of water, and any number above 0 is when water is fluid. So that's an example of where we use negative numbers and why we have them. Now there are little tricks to add in negative numbers on, and you should know them. So let's have a look. Here we've got 4 different sums. 10 add minus 4, minus 5 add 12, 8 add minus 10, and minus 13 add 3. And thinking about how we add numbers on, we could sort of like look at the number line and count upward, but it kind of gets complicated, especially if the minus number is second, like in the 8 add minus 10, sorry. So a better way to do this would be to come up with a sort of trick, particularly when some numbers might be minus 200 add 363. Oh, jeepers, weird numbers, big numbers that we can't really think of on a number line. So what's the first thing we're going to do? Well, the first thing is if we have 2 signs next to each other, we got to change them so that we've got 1 sign. And in this case, if you've got a plus and a minus next to each other, we can change it to a minus. So the top one, which is 10 add minus 4, and the third one, which is 8 add minus 10, we can actually change those to 10 minus 4 and 8 minus 10. This is going to make it a little bit easier. So what can we do next? Well, having the negative number first is also a bit difficult. So it might be easier if we made sure we put the positive number first. Now that's all right with 10 minus 4 and 8 minus 10, but these two, minus 5 add 12, and the bottom one, both have the negative numbers first. So next we're going to swap those 2 numbers so the positive number is first. And now we've got 10 take away 4, 12 take away 5, 8 take away 10, and 3 take away 13. They're looking much simpler and much easier to work with. Okay, so the first 2 we can work out now because we've got 10 take away 4 and 12 take away 5, and provided your basic arithmetic is fine, then you should be able to work those out. If it's not, then have a look at the pre-GCSE videos on subtracting below 10 or above 10. So we got 10 take away 4 is 6 and 12 take away 5 is 7. Nice and easy. So the answer to those 2 original sums was 6 and 7. The trouble is now we haven't got a bigger positive number take away a smaller negative number. We've got 8 take away 10 and 3 take away 13. So we're actually taking a bigger number away from a smaller one. Well, it's actually easier to work this out than you'd expect. All you have to do is the sum the other way around, 10 take away 8 instead of 8 take away 10, and 13 take away 3 instead of 3 take away 13. So do those sums that way, and then to end it, change the number to a negative. So if you're taking away a bigger number from a smaller number, do the sum the other way around, and then change the number to a minus. And that's it. That is how we add on negative numbers and what they are. Next time we'll look at taking away negative numbers and start looking at multiplying them and dividing them.